Chapter 2 Hunkules kills Lily White. Lily White, a girl so shockingly white, your eyes would burn if you looked directly at her skin, was surrounded by animals of the forest. Deer, birds, and fuzzy ground critters frolicked around her as she danced and skipped down a road in the forest, singing Noble Bird.
All around the foresty knoll, the worm is chased by birdie. Wormy takes a ride in its mouth, plop goes the turdy.
And Atheist Badger.
Little badger boo-boo, thinking he's so funny, digging up the garbage and spreading it in the church.
And, finally, Smells Like Skunk.
In the forest, he's outrageous. Here's the skunk now, smells infamous. Spray me down now, it's so awful. Smells so bad I hit the bottle, yeah.
In the instant that Lily White finished this last song, she found that she had pranced her way up to a white cotton-tailed rabbit, which looked up at her bravely and with knowing eyes. Its nose twitched, as a rabbit's is wont to do, and Lily White took this to mean that the rabbit was speaking to her and asking her a question.
Well, Mr. Bunny,
Lily White replied kindly,
I'm just returning home. My grandmother sent me to the village to buy her a great big bottle of medicine.
With a grunt, Lily White heaved up a large glass jug, its only label showing 4 X's. A brown fluid swished inside and seemed to have eaten away some of the glass. The rabbit squeaked and twitched its nose.
Oh, Mr. Bunny, you shouldn't say that about my grandmother. She's not a rummy. She'll only drink this for medicinal purposes. She only has a glass after every meal. And sometimes before her meal. And before bed. And sometimes she gets out of bed to get a glass.
Said the bunny. Sort of.
You're not a very nice bunny,
said Lily White. She grabbed the rabbit by its ears, made a running start, and drop-kicked it 100 yards. Field goal, 3 points. Lifting up the jug again, she began again to frolic and skip through the forest. After asking around for a zombie pale girl, Hunkules had learned that Lily White would be walking on a particular road, and so had hidden in the trees and lay in wait to capture her. Suddenly, a rabbit flew past his head at bullet speed. Forgetting his plan to keep quiet, Hunkules ran out of the trees in a fury, in the direction where the rabbit had flown from. "Hey, you could have killed me with that, bunny!" shouted Hunkules. He was so angry that it took him a moment to really look at the girl, and when he did, he saw that her skin was almost as white as a vampire's. It was the girl from the magic mirror, Lily White.
That bunny, I'll have you know, thinks my grandmother is an alcoholic,
said Lily White, her eyes lit with fury. Though her eyes were crazed, in those crazy eyes Hunkules saw something more than mere madness. Actually, no, it wasn't in her eyes at all. It was her body. She was fine. The whiteness of her skin was off-putting. She sort of looked like a corpse. But she was thin enough, and she had some junk in the trunk. That's right. So her skin didn't even matter. For the moment, Hunkules forgot all about his orders to kill Lily White.
What are you doing with that bucket?
Asked Lily White. "Oh," said Hunkules, stupidly. He looked down at the bucket swinging in his hand, the one that was supposed to have Lily White's head in it. He quickly stuck it behind his back. "I was just about to fetch a pail of water," said Hunkules. He grinned and nodded, satisfied with his made-up answer. After an awkward moment, Lily White said,
"That's nice. Well, goodbye."
She turned away from Hunkules and his muscles, and began to skip away. "No, wait!" called Hunkules.
"What?"
asked Lily White. "Oh, look how heavy this bucket is!" Hunkules flexed his biceps and massive pecs, then lifted the bucket, grunting with the effort.
"Are you sure that's heavy? It looks completely empty,"
asked Lily White innocently. "Oh," said Hunkules, searching his mind for another strategy. He flashed his most handsome and attractive smile, and, flipping his blonde hair from his eyes, said, "I'm hot. You're hot. Let's go do something hot."
"What are you talking about?"
said Lily White, her brow furrowed in confusion.
"I don't feel hot. It's a nice breezy day. It's perfect, too, since I have to walk so far to bring home this medicine for my grandmother."
Hunkules had been shot down again. He decided to try a more direct approach. He confidently strutted up to Lily White, who looked small indeed next to the hulking man, and took her hand. "Girl, I like your butt," Hunkules said, and leaned in for a kiss to seal the deal. "Ah!" Lily White screamed at an incredible volume directly into Hunkules' face.
"Get away, you creep! You're gross!"
Hunkules tried to guard himself, but he wasn't fast enough, as Lily White had heaved up and clocked Hunkules across the face with her XXXX jug of medicine. Hunkules' head rang like a bell. "Ow! My face!" Hunkules howled. "That's my most beautiful feature!" Lily White again screamed directly into Hunkules' face, then turned on her heel to run. Before she'd taken 2 steps, she tripped on a tree root at the edge of the road directly into a ditch. Hunkules peered over the edge. Lily White fell into a poison ivy bush and began scratching her skin furiously, smacked against a rock, then crashed headfirst into an enormous beehive, before finally coming to land at the base of the ditch. Lily White was knocked out cold. She didn't even twitch, as the angry swarm of bees stung her time after time. "Well," said Hunkules after a pause, "I guess she's dead. That sucks. She was so curvaceous. But I guess my job here is done. One thing's for sure, though. There's no way I'm going to go and pull that beehive off her head. The queen will just have to figure out some other way to make her skin-whitening potion." With that, Hunkules turned and made his way back to the queen's castle, whistling a tune that sounded a lot like Atheist Badger.